Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we triple your impact per engineer. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and coach to tech executives worldwide, and our subject today is your half-year review. And as I'm recording this, we just crossed 50% of 2022. I know, it's been fast, at least for me. And I thought I would ask you something that I've been doing with some of my clients, which is a sort of a quick retrospective to assess where you're currently at, what have you achieved, and whether you're on track to finish this year well off. And first of all, something I usually ask is take a second and consider, are you having fun? Like, look at the past 6 months. I know the tech industry is in an interesting situation right now, and nevertheless, consider, are you having fun? In general, not everything that you're doing at work is fun. Not every single moment should be fun. But in general, are you having fun? That's because if in general you're not having fun, you need to change something. So that's one. Number two is look at how your team is progressing. I'm assuming you have goals for the year, for the quarter. Did you accomplish what you set out to accomplish? Are you on track to achieve your end year goals? And you can consider your entire organization, a specific team, etc. Now, let us quickly consider a few key aspects of your role. First, there is personal growth, looking at yourself. Do you feel like you've learned something in the past 6 months? Is there something in the rest of the year that you're actually looking forward to? It might be something that you're a bit afraid of or scared of. It might be something that makes you a bit uneasy, and yet it is something that you're looking forward to. You want to achieve it, you want to do it. It's not something that is trivial for you. After considering your personal growth, let's consider how well your team is doing. And this is not about delivery, which we just covered when we talked about objectives, but about your team and how robust / healthy it is. Do you feel like your team is growing, happy, challenged, involved? Are they actively working for impact? Can they see this impact? Do they have enough product mastery? Do you have any specific single points of failure? If one key person decides to leave, you're going to have a really bad quarter, that sort of stuff. Consider how well you're doing. Should you be aware of something? Should you be talking to someone? That sort of stuff. Next, how good are you acting as a real executive? So in the past 6 months, have you talked enough to your peers in the executive team? Has there been anything that you're thinking, I should have known about that earlier? Are you aware of what's coming ahead? That sort of stuff. And if you're not, what are you going to change right now to ensure that it's not going to repeat itself in the rest of the year? Another point is consider the innovation that's been going on. So other than merely doing what you had on the roadmap, has your team been part of any real innovation? Something that actually moves the needle, and it's not something that you've been spoon-fed to do. So I'm not talking about producing tech debt or that sort of stuff. I'm talking about real value to the company. Because you created an internal tool, because, I don't know, you saved money on cloud bills, whatever. Did you find anything that's impactful that actually helps the company? And looking forward, are you making enough time to allow this to happen again or more? I've talked in the past a bunch about intermissions, and if you're not seeing enough innovation going on regularly, do check it out. It's the topic of the free sample chapter of my book, The Tech Executive Operating System, and you can get that at the link in the show notes. And lastly, again, looking at where you're at, in general, do you feel like you have enough momentum, and are you on track to finish the year with a bang? Are you going to finish it and consider this a year spent well, a year where you grew, a year where your team grew, not the head count, but personally, a year where you achieved stuff, where you had real impact, where it mattered that you put in all the sweat into this job? Because, if not, I always say life is too short, and you should start reconsidering what you're doing and how you're fulfilling your potential. And if you feel stuck, you know what you should do. You should reach out to me. My email is always in the show notes. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, my email is in the show notes. And specifically for this episode, I would love to hear, even if you just went through this exercise, how did you do? Are you happy? Feel free to just share that with me. I won't share it with anyone else. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe to my newsletter. It's the best newsletter online for tech executives with 3 exclusive insights I don't share anywhere else every week. Thank you. Talk soon.